Good morning, Ethan. Here's your machine, the Breville Barista Express BES870 in brushed stainless steel. As you saw in the photos, it's in good condition. Of course, it's a used machine, so it will have a bit of wear and tear. It's mainly around the front here, so you've got a couple dents, a few scratches. Same here on the back plate. Nothing too bad. These machines will get scratches even when you buy them brand new. Within a week, you'll get scratches and dings. So it's inevitable anyway. And what's important is that this machine is fully functional, works like new. I've just finished the service last night, doing the cleaning cycles, and I've just finished doing the descale just now. The machine has no problems at all. And it'll come with 1 month warranty, so if you have any issues, you can just come back to me for a replacement or a repair. Yeah, so I think the machine is ready to make a coffee. I've given it some water, some beans, and just waiting for it to warm up. It usually takes about a minute to reach temperature, but the machine has been on for a few minutes now, doing the cleaning cycle. And yeah, it's ready to roll. This is the double basket that it comes with. Currently it's empty. So when you first turn on the machine, you want to warm up the components of the coffee making process. So you've got your portafilter, your cups. You want these to be nice and hot, and not just the boiler. So when you see the lights on constantly and not flashing, that means it's up to temperature for the boiler. But you still got other components you want to be warm for your coffee to be good. So what I like to do is either you can leave the machine on for 10 or 20 minutes and it'll warm up passively. And the top lid will also get slightly warm as well, so you can keep your cups up here. You can fit up to 3 cups, I think. 3 small cups or 2 large cups. And you can keep them up here and it'll get them warm. But if you want to get everything hot quickly, you can just run a blank shot. So no coffee in the handle, empty cups. Press the double and it'll push hot water through those components and into the cup. That's going to warm things up pretty nicely, pretty quickly if you're in a hurry. I like to do this with all my machines. Even my dual boiler here, I like to do the warm-up procedure on. It also acts like a cleaning, like flushing cycle as well. So it'll, as you see, it'll clean any coffee oils or coffee grounds that are stuck in the grip head or in the basket. So it's a nice step to do. You can do that once or twice. I think I'm just going to do it once for the video. Get rid of that hot water. Put your cup on the side and grab a tissue, dry the basket. You want it to be dry before you grind, otherwise the coffee grounds will clump up and it won't be nice for the shot. So this is the double basket, like I said. It'll take about 17 grams of ground coffee. It's the pressurized basket, which actually makes life quite easy. You don't have to really worry about the dose that you put in or the grind size. Those two things are usually very sensitive. They're usually very important for single wall baskets, or let's say unpressurized baskets. You have to get those settings right, but in pressurized baskets, the tolerance is higher, so you don't have to be as exact with your dosing or with your grind size or with your tamping even. So that's good. But anyway, for your interest, it's on grind size number 6. It's on 2 o'clock position for the grind amount, and it's on single. I like to do the single twice to prevent any mess or spillage. And also for your interest, I'm going to measure the output for the single. I'm going to do that twice. It's my first dose. We got 10 grams. So I'll dial it back to about 1 o'clock. Actually, let's put it at 12 o'clock, see what that gives us. It's 9 grams. Okay, that's 8.5. Let's do 8.5 twice. That's 17 grams in total, which is what this basket takes. Then I press the ground and then grind again. Perfect. $17 grams, perfect. So it'll give you 8.5 grams at the 12 o'clock position at grind size 6. I'm using Coles beans, which are on the cheaper end of the scale. For the testing, that's what I like to use. Otherwise, I'll be spending many hundreds testing coffee machines with expensive beans. But yeah, I would usually recommend Aldi as a brand to start with coffee beans. Their coffees are pretty good and fresh. But the best case scenario, like the best bean you can get, is a fresh bean. So if anything freshly roasted locally in your area, that would be the best. That would be the best way to go about getting your beans. They surely will taste better when they're fresh, as opposed to sitting on the supermarket for a few months or a few weeks. But if you're on a budget, or if you make coffees with milk, like cappuccinos and lattes, you probably won't notice the beans as much. So cheaper beans would make sense if those two things apply to you. Okay. When you tap, you want it to be nice and level, and usually you want to have the dose correctly at 17 grams. But again, because this is a pressurized basket, it's a bit more forgiving. But anyway, if you don't have a scale, you can know that you can check if you have the correct dose by looking at the depth of the tamper. So I've already tamped it. This is 17 grams, I've already tamped it. And the depth goes as much as this silver part. So this is like an indicator that you have the correct dose. So when this silver part disappears, that means you have the correct dose. Clean the edges, then lock it in. In the middle is fine, you don't have to go all the way to the right. Because the grip head rubber seal is fairly fresh. I'm gonna get rid of this hot water. You also have a hot water tap here. So you can use this to warm up your cups or to make a long black coffee. I like to add a little bit of hot water to help my sugar dissolve, because I like to add sugar to my lattes. So it's very handy in that regard. I'm just gonna grab a bit of sugar. If I can find it, I'm not sure where I put it. Fantastic. So I'm going to measure the output as well for your interest. Actually, I'm going to recalibrate the button for you. So these buttons here are programmable. You can set them to whatever length you prefer. If you wanted to reset them to factory settings, just hold program. That will reset to factory settings. But to program the button to your desired volume, you have to make a coffee. So you press program, then you press the button you want to program. The machine will start making the coffee. Then you stop it when you're happy with the volume. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to use the scale as a sort of confirmation that I have got the correct amount of coffee. Usually a recipe for espresso is a 2-to-1 ratio. So for every gram you put in, you want to get 2 grams out. We put in 17, we want to get 34 out. So I'm going to aim for about 35. You know, if it's a few grams less or more, it should be fine. Again, it's not an exact science, but if you're close to those numbers, it's a good start. And if that was too confusing to you, you can just ignore what I just said. Basically, you'll receive the machine already set up to the correct settings, so that you can start making coffee straight away without overthinking it. But yeah, so reset my scale and then program the button. Press program, then press the button. Just for interest's sake, I'm also going to time it. There's about 18 seconds, and I think that's close to 35 grams of coffee. Could be wrong. That's 34 grams of coffee. So this is what it looks like. Just bring it closer. 34 grams. And in my cup, this is what it looks like. So in a shot glass, it'll probably be half of a shot glass. I do have a shot glass for reference. Sorry about that. It looks like my phone activated Siri and it stopped the video. But yeah, this is a shot glass. about half of the shot glass is about 35 grams if you're interested. And yeah, this was a nice espresso shot. It was slightly too quick, so maybe I would make the grind size a bit finer, so from a 6 to a 5 or a 4. But yeah, it looked like a decent shot with good pressure. It was 12 o'clock pressure. It's got good crema as well. Not a horrible shot. Again, I'm not an espresso kind of person. I usually have lattes. So I don't drink straight espresso like that. But yeah, that was alright. I would have that as a shot if I had to. But my preference is latte. So I'm going to add some milk to my milk jug now. You want to get a metal milk jug so you can feel the temperature through the walls. But if you had to, you can use a glass cup or a ceramic mug, etc. to froth anything that's conductive. Just don't use plastic. You won't be able to feel the temperature through plastic. I'm going to clean the machine. Take out the portafilter, knock it into a knock box. I would recommend the knock box because you'll need to knock it quite hard to get rid of the coffee beans. And then you would want to rinse. Press the double. Going to flush and clean everything. If you want to be extra precautious and extra careful, just grab a tissue and wipe. That's going to keep things even cleaner. And you also want to wipe the grip head. There's often a bit of ground coffee left up there, or oils, so it's good to get into the habit of cleaning it every now and then. In addition to the other cleaning things that you have to do for the machine, such as the cleaning cycle, the descale cycle, changing the water filter on time, and keeping the machine dry so that it doesn't, get any rust over the exterior. Now next is the steaming. So I'm going to turn on the steamer. I've got half of my jug filled with cold full cream milk. So being a single boil machine, you have to give it a few seconds for it to warm up. Turn it off. Place it at an angle, close to the edge, close to the surface. Turn it back on. Keep the milk spinning. The level of froth is controlled by how deep or how shallow you place the tip of the wand. So if you go very shallow for very long, it'll make it more bubbly, more fluffy. If you keep it closer or deeper into the jug, into the milk, that'll reduce the amount of air you inject and it will make it a more flatter drink. And of course, if you want something in between, you do something in between, which is what I think I'm doing now. And then when it's too hot to the touch, that's usually about 60 degrees, so turn it on. I've got a thermometer on my jug, so I can tell that's 60, but yeah, usually by feel is fine. Got a good texture here. You will get bubbles sometimes in the milk, so just knock it on the counter to break any air bubbles. And then swirl it around to mix it up. Do this a few times until the surface is nice and smooth. Swirl. You want it to look like wet paint. That's the texture people usually describe for a good texture for milk, or for latte art, I guess. Okay, then pour. I'm no barista. I don't think I'm going to be getting any latte art, but with this machine you sure can, with a bit of practice. Okay, we got a weirdly shaped heart. I think I'm proud of that. But yeah, what's important is the taste, not really the looks. But yeah, for sure, if you practice a little bit, you can do fantastic latte art. I've seen very good latte art from this machine. I mean, just like any other manual espresso machine, it's just about practice, not necessarily about the machine itself. And yeah, I'm sure you can do even better coffees than this. Hope you enjoy the machine. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to message me. What I'll do now, I have to wipe this and give it a purge. I forgot to tell you, but after steaming, you want to purge the machine as well, just to get rid of any milk in that one. Preferably when it's hot, just after the steaming itself, as opposed to having to wait for it to warm up. That's enough. And then give it a wipe with a wet towel to keep it clean. I'll do that now after the video. Thanks for watching, and yeah, hope you enjoy the machine. Cheers.